Hello, everybody, and I hope you're all well and healthy and keeping safe. I decided to make this video as an alternative to the rural event that we were planning to host earlier in March. Unfortunately, last month I got sick, so I wasn't able to be there, and given health concerns at the time, but also currently, we decided to postpone the event, which in hindsight, I really think it was the right thing to do. I wanted to tell you about the new rural research cluster within the Institute for Creative Arts Practice, which aims really to bring together different strands of creative arts practice and research associated with the materiality, the representation, and the imagination of the rural. What we wanted to do with Richard Talbot is really to create a research cluster to support an interdisciplinary dialogue across arts, humanities, social sciences, and natural sciences about what creative arts practice might offer in rural context and how in turn this might be linked with wider research questions about the sustainability, the well-being and issues of social justice in the countryside. There is a lot of good work that we draw inspiration for our research cluster. For example, I'm sure you're all very familiar with Black Mountain College, where artists had to engage in agricultural work as part of their curriculum. The Rural Studio in Auburn University, where students work with socially excluded communities, but also the care and positionality of the rural in the production of contemporary art globally. And I'm sure you might have picked up trends between art and the rural, from Whitechapel Gallery to the Guggenheim in New York, but really tons of other examples. And really a realization that a lot of you have already been doing this all this time, that we do have actually a lot of people who position their research, their creative arts practice in the countryside. And also we have a lot of other cultural organizations that we work with, that they also have practical experience of really doing that, working with artists in very remote, marginal and regional contexts. So the rural event was really an opportunity to get to know each other and see how we can work collectively, how we can support each other. My proposition here is that we still do this sort of an event, a conference, but we do it online and in an asynchronous way. So what I would like to ask you is if you have the time and the energy to create a 5-minute video of yourselves talking about your research or your artistic practice, and to tell us how this is linked with questions about the countryside. Think of the countryside or the rural in the widest possible sense. I'm not here to police anybody's understanding or definition of the rural, but generally we're interested in landscapes, areas, social and natural environment beyond the metropolis. If you cannot take part in this online sort of conferences for any reason, there's nothing to worry about. You will still be a member of the group, but I just thought that it might be an opportunity to talk about this during this time, and also reflect a little bit how the research group might support future work. So if you can't do it, don't worry, but if you can do it, please send me your video via Dropbox, via email, on FaceTime. I don't know, we'll figure it out. I will put it on YouTube, and this will be a private channel, and it will be viewed by us in the same way that you probably are viewing this video if I was able to do that. still not know. So my name is Menelaos Gargios. I'm a senior lecturer in planning and rural development at the Center for Rural Economy, and for the last 3-4 years I've been looking in more depth this intersection between rurality and creative arts practice. In particular, I was involved in an original research project funded by the AHRC on Northumbrian exchanges. This was led by Eric Cross, and it was actually for me a great opportunity to look at ways of looking at the countryside from a different discipline. And it was also a great opportunity to meet many of you. So it was catalytic in my development. I've also engaged in empirical work in Japan when I worked for a visiting associate professor at the University of Tokyo. I did fieldwork in rural art festivals in Japan, and what these art festivals, these contemporary art festivals, might mean for rural development in Japan. I've also been involved with artist residencies, primarily the one that we run at the Center for Rural Economy, and which is also now supported by the Institute for Creative Arts Practice, but also an artist in residency program currently going on at Visual Arts in Rural Communities with 6 residencies, I think it's 6, and a few other projects, and both the Center for Rural Economy and the Institute for Creative Arts Practice are involved in those, and hopefully our colleagues from Berwick Visual Arts and Visual Arts in Rural Communities can talk about this. I've also been involved in some capacity. I've been sitting on the board of directors of the Berwick Film and Media Arts Festival, and this has also been a fantastic experience to learn really about moving image art, and to see the background, the backstage of really organizing a festival. So all of these things I've enjoyed immensely. So I just wanted to say we can still do this. Do send me a video of who you are, explain your artistic practice or your research, what you have done, what would you like to do, perhaps how the new research cluster might help you. The purpose of this event is really to get to know each other and then think about things that we could do together. Before I close this, I want to say massive thank you to Richard Talbot and V. Pollock, without whom we wouldn't really be having a rural research cluster, but this is something that they both genuinely believed and supported. Massive thank you to Mel Ewell and Mel Robson, who worked so hard to help me organize the rural event, which eventually didn't happen, but fingers crossed we'll be doing more and lots of good things together. Thank you very much for watching this, and keep safe, keep healthy, and mind yourselves. Thank you.